Hello all, it's Melinda. It's time for another random Pinterest pick. And today I picked this one by Diane Payne. And I have actually scrap lifted this almost identically. 2015, I think. And this was my layout takeout on it. And black and white-ish photos in the color dots. I didn't sew on any of them. I did this when I was at a crop, so I didn't have my sewing machine with me at the time. And I wasn't planning on using the same type of title, but the photos called for that rock star title. But yeah, I wanted to just show you that I've done this one already. So my plan is to do it the opposite, do colored photos and do all the spots in black and white. I haven't picked the photos yet. I think I have some in mind, but I want to make sure that I have two that are good enough to hold their own. So I will get back to you on that. But this is what I've decided to do. I have all this black washi tape. And I'm going to fill scrap paper with it. And I'm going to punch the circles out. My plan is, if I can grab it, my 1.5 inch Fiskars punch. And just punch as many of these as I can. Doesn't always like the washi tape, but it'll be okay. Many of those as I can out of this, and then start over again and just put these down. Maybe this will be a lot harder than I thought. But that's the plan. I don't know how many of these I'm going to need, so I'm going to not make you watch me struggle with my punch anymore. And I will get back to you once they're all punched and I have a little bit more of an idea of what I'm going to do. All right, I went ahead and found these two photos of my daughter. There's not a ton of color in them, but she's wearing colorful clothes in each. So I went ahead and pulled the Simple Stories DIY Boutique crepey paper so I can frame my layout with the rainbow. And I also went ahead and used some gold. Let's see if we can get this to focus. Closer? Oh, there we go. Gold stitching, some in zigzag, some in straight stitch on all of them, just to add a little bit of glimmer to each of them. And then I went ahead and pulled a flare badge that says smile with a rainbow kind of on it. And I've also been digging through my August Hip Kit Club, and it has a lot of Maggie Holmes Carousel in it. So I thought maybe I could use some of that as the bits and bobbles that are on this. So I will put you on fast forward and start this process. I'm still digging around in my head for a title. I might have one, but then again, I might change my mind, so I won't reveal it yet. All right, see you at the end. I'm going to chop the pictures down. Like I said before in another video, my new wireless printer doesn't seem to like to put a white border around everything. I got to figure that out a little bit more. So I'm going to back these with white cardstock because I do like that little white border to separate the pictures from the layers. Someone was asking me about this trimmer. It's a Caterpillar Crop. I absolutely love it. I've given up on Fiskars cutters. I'm going to cut this down to about 11.5 by 11.5. And then only thing I don't like about my Caterpillar is that I can't do this plunge cutting, so I use my Stampin' Up! Cutter for that. And I gut this at 11 by 11, so it leaves an inch around. I've tried just cutting it, but I end up wasting more paper, so I go back to doing that. I haven't really found the best way to do this, so I'm going to lean my hand on it, put one corner down, make sure it's level, and do the rest. I'm going to sew around this, so I don't want to put too much adhesive on it. And voila, it's sewn. I sewed it in gold to match the thread on the circles. Just show you quickly there. I'm not going to make you watch me place all these. I'm going to start placing them. I did one less row than the sketch did in the one I did before. So I did 5 across and 5 down. And they're all adhered now. I didn't make you watch me do that. That was kind of a long process. And I'm just going to decide, I think I want my photos there based on how she's looking. And I'm going to try some things out. The flare badge in the circle does not stay. And I think because of her hot pink, I might use the hot pink doily. But that doesn't stay either. Just deciding on some things. I'm really not sure if I like the multicolored paper on the outside, but it's a little too late now. In the end, I do end up liking it, but as I'm trying to pick things, I was like, too many color choices. So I'm really liking this gold bingo card and the gold heart from the Carousel collection. And that banner, I tried a lot of places. It doesn't end up staying. That bottom cluster down there, that's about how it's going to stay. And that tag is going to stay, and the white doily is going to be used. Those are adhesive sequins. They don't really like to stay on their adhesive, so kind of impractical. I'm gonna nix the bingo card here soon and just go with that sparkly frame right there. I'm gonna cut it in half and use it on both. I've put vellum underneath the pink photo, and I'm gonna get another piece of vellum for the other one. I figured there's a lot going on in this layout. I didn't necessarily want the photos to have too much. These are little Project Life cards that came from Gossamer Blue warehouse sale. I'm just trying to find two that the colors that I want to bring out. Trying to keep everything together. It's not easy. I'm not done trying to get this label to fit. It probably would have been a perfect title if I would have left it. These are some hearts. They're kind of shiny and shiny stickers. I'm going to stick it down there, and it stays down there for a good long time before I realize that I don't need a cluster on every corner. Is what ended up what it was being, and I thought that's not what I wanted to do, so I move it someplace else. I just like the vellum. It gives it another layer. I'm deciding on what side I want to put it on. Nope, I want to put it on the top. I think I'm going to grab another piece of vellum. I'm just grabbing scrap vellum for this one. This one ends up having polka dots on it. You really can't see the polka dots, so I didn't really care. And it was just in my scrap bin of vellum. I like that way. Now I'm going to go down this rabbit hole with this title. And I end up giving up and going to bed because it wasn't working. But I go to the trouble of sticking it all down and everything. I even change some of the letters before I go to bed, thinking that that's what I just, it was too big. I didn't like the fonts that I was using. I don't know. But the original one was Don't Let Anyone Dull Your Sparkle. Perfect title. Not a problem. I think I've even used it on a layout before. But it just wasn't working. So I try, okay, I'll take those off and I'll put the pink letters on. I only left it in to show you that, you know, sometimes you just need to walk away. And you'll notice I have a sweatshirt on when I come back because it's the morning and I'm in my pajamas and it was a little chilly. I'm going to let that sit. And I'm debating on it. And I go as far as, well, maybe I just don't like it because it's on the wax paper. So I put it down. And I just have to walk away. These are the wooden little epoxy button stickers. I'm not sure what you call them. I love that bow. I don't know how many of these I'm going to use. It's big. It's black and white. It's very graphic. I love it. I'm going to staple these together. And I'm going to commit to that down there. And these are the problem I'm having with these. When you peel them off, the stick doesn't like to stay. So we're struggling a little bit with them. I like the concept. I mean, they're already pre-glued. Yay. Just they're not as practical as what I want them to be. So I give up and I think, okay, I'm going to use that for the O. I think that's cute. It's flowery. I'm going to put it all down. And as I'm putting it down, I'm like, you know, I really don't like this. It's too big. It takes up too much space. I don't know. And I just keep moving forward, making sure nothing falls. And I sit for a second and stare at it before I go to bed. And I decide I'm going to pull it. This is the next morning. And I'm going to put everything back so I can use it on another layout at some point. And I don't at this point know if I know what the title is going to be. I might have thought of it already. I'm not remembering. But it's going to be You Do You. I thought of some journaling that I wanted to use. So yeah, I let the D out. I did know. And so I put You Do in this font. And I'm going to put the other U in that. And I'm like, okay. And yeah, there's where I'm struggling with the sticker of that. And then I decide, you know what? I like that flower and I'm going to use it. I like that much better. It's smaller. It's contained. It just works for me. And I'm trying to think. This is September 2017 is all I put. I'm going to cut a little piece of foam to fill this gap in. Two pieces of foam. And I'm getting down to the end of my domed zots. So I'm trying to conserve them. I went ahead and typed this up on my typewriter, and I'm going to cut this into strips. It says, don't change so people will like you. Be all you, and the right people will love the real you. Another little service message to my middle daughter. This is where I decide that I don't need that one down there, so I have to move all the little parts and pieces, and some of the adhesive stayed. And I'm trying to think, do I want it down here? And I thought, no, I'm going to attach them to the side of this picture cluster and have them go underneath the vellum and just adhere them down with a little strip of adhesive. In the sketch, they, I think, sewed around some of the circles. And I decided that I'm going to use a pink marker and do 3 of them. And then I use another color. I think this is the red. The pink was looking too hot pink and not the pink I wanted. So I did it both in red and pink to kind of tone it down. I'm going to sprinkle gold, kind of my go-to color. Dab up some of the really wet ones. I'm never patient enough to let that stuff dry. I'm going to hit them with a heat gun. I forgot I did that. I want to be very careful because the tape is not going to handle the heat gun well, and neither are the sequins. And this is why I'm going to slow it down and show you some close-ups. They sometimes twist when I use those thick dots. And you can't even tell that that's polka dotted. There's the journaling. I love that sparkly heart. I wish I had 3 of them. I want to thank you for watching. There will be close-ups at the end for you to take a look at. Have a great day.